Oh, I love that trailer. Somebody, I think, just commented pumped. That's exactly how we feel as well. I think we're live. Can we have a few thumbs up, maybe, if you can hear me and you can see me all right? Getting some thumbs up? Yeah? Great stuff. Well, welcome to Prop Store's live auction preview. It's a little bit different this year due to the pandemic, but we're embracing the changes and hopefully enjoy the live stream along with the others that we have scheduled. I'm Stephen Lane, founder and CEO of Prop Store. And if you're not familiar with us, we specialise in entertainment memorabilia, searching out rare treasures and artefacts using movies and TV shows, making them available to collectors like you through our film and entertainment auctions out of London and Los Angeles. Our upcoming auction is taking place over 2 days, December the 1st and 2nd, out of Prop Store's facility here in the UK. Starting at 2 p.m. GMT, that's 6 a.m. PST for those of you on the west coast of the US, and it comprises of over 900 incredible artifacts from over 350 films and television shows. You can register for the auction right now at propstore.com/live auction, and the full catalogue goes live and online bidding commences tomorrow on October the 29th, running right the way through to the auction days. As an alternative to bidding online, you can book a phone bidding clerk with us so that you can be in the room, in person for the event. We can also arrange one-to-one online viewings through Zoom or Skype, or in-person, socially distanced viewings here at Prop Store UK. Of course, the auction is going to be live streamed around the world. It's going to be at about 8 hours a day for each auction day, so make sure you have a comfy seat, and maybe a couple of cold beers, and perhaps a bottle of wine to keep you company along the way. So I think we're just about ready to move forward for a closer look at some of the lots. Please feel free to ask any questions as we go, and we'll answer and respond to as many as we can on air or afterwards in the comments. So George is our socially distanced cameraman today. Hello, George. Thanks for stepping in there. And what we're going to do, George, is we're going to have a look at this first cabinet where we've got some of the artifacts set up. So if we can pan up to the top here and have a look here. And we're going to start with this particular artwork, which is a beautiful design from Tim Burton's 1989 Batman. Designed by Bob Ringwood, but actually dedicated to Bob by Kane, who was the creator of Batman when he visited the set on Batman Returns, the second film. What I love about this is actually the scale of it, the sheer size of that. And maybe if you can just pan back a little bit there, George, you can actually see that by comparison to some of the other artifacts in the display case. Next to this, we have Johnny Depp's Tricorn hat from Pirates of the Caribbean. Stepping down below that, George, we have Tom Cruise's jacket, Maverick's jacket from Top Gun. A little bit more Johnny Depp to the right of that there, where we have Johnny Depp's bandana, hairpiece, his wig with all the accoutrements, again from Pirates of the Caribbean. Now let's have a look at this piece down at the bottom here. This is from An American Werewolf in London, directed by John Landis. This was actually the very first picture to win an Academy Award for creature and makeup effects. This was Rick Baker's first Academy Award. I think he's now got about 7 of them. I lose count. Of course, the piece unfortunately has lost all of its hair, its foam, and a lot of its dressing. But what that presents us with is the full underskull and the mechanics of the piece. So you have all of this made out of resin, you have the dental acrylic, and this is actually still fully mechanical. Now we've done a more in look at this, which you'll be able to see on our feeds at propstore.com. So please tune into that where we talk about a little bit more in detail, and that has an auction estimate of £30,000 to £50,000. Let's step up here to the top of this display case. Before we jump into these pieces, I'm just going to check with Tim here. Tim, do we have any questions so far that have come up in the feed? Guys, please feel free to ask. Well, that's because this particular jacket was actually used for a deleted scene in the film. So the important thing here is to download the catalogue. The catalogue goes live tomorrow. And in fact, if you actually register for bidding today, you can get an early preview look at the catalogue. It has the full description in there. It also has a corresponding still of Tom Cruise on set wearing the jacket. So please check that out. Any other questions there, Tim? Or yep, okay, cool. We're on here. So at the top of the case here, we have a couple of wonderful stop motion pieces created by Phil Tippett. We have the dragon from Dragon Slayer, which is unfortunately not in the best of conditions now. Obviously, it's deteriorated a lot of the skin and the latex over the wings, but we've lost the camera. We're back again. All right, so bear with us, guys. This is our first live feed out of Prop Store UK, so we're learning a little bit as we go. This has a full metal armature built into it. Wonderful detailing on the head there as well. And this was used for the process that Phil actually designed and created during Empire Strikes Back for Go Motion, where the shutter was left open to give a sort of smoother effect on screen. Just to the right of that, we have the robot from Robocop 2, Kane. I think this is a wonderful piece, actually. If you look at the detail on this, it is really the paintwork, the finish on it, and on this particular item, you can actually see a lot of the internal, what would normally be the internal armature for a stop-motion puppet. In front of that, the golden compass from the golden compass, the alethiometer. And I think, how are we doing with the camera work there? Is everything working right now? Yes, we got it? Okay, good, excellent. Stepping down a shelf, we have Brad Pitt's hero helmet from Troy. So this is a metal hero helmet that's hand beaten into shape by an armourer. It also has a liner inside, a leather liner for comfort as well. And then you have a horsehair mohawk that's been fitted to the top of it. This, of course, was also designed by Bob Ringwood as well, and has an estimate of £10,000 to £15,000. Sitting next to that, we have Tom Hanks' helmet from Saving Private Ryan. So that's actually been signed by Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, and a number of the other cast and crew. Again, it's a hero version of the helmet. It's a metal helmet with its liner inside it. I love the glasses here just in front there, George, if you can get in on those. Are from the first Matrix film. You might notice when you're looking at them there that they look maybe just a little bit wonky. So we lost picture again, have we? So we're just struggling a little bit with the technology here. Bear with us a moment, guys. Just bear with us a moment, and we'll see if we can get this back up and running for you. Tim, any other questions coming in the interim?
Is there any other parts of the Caribbean items?
We have, indeed, yes, absolutely. So we do have a number of other Pirates of the Caribbean, including Johnny Depp's rings. So again, I would really highly recommend for anybody who's interested in these artifacts to download the catalogue and check out all the full listings, because this is just a very, very small sample of what we have coming up on auction. So going back to the glasses, we're back on again, are we? Yep, brilliant stuff, nice one. So yeah, as I was saying, these may look a little bit wonky to you, and that's actually because these were fully custom built for the first Matrix film. The designers decided that they didn't want to use an off-the-shelf set of glasses for either character, Agent Smith and Trinity, and so they were fully custom made. A little bit more delicate and a little bit more fragile, and I think again. We're back again. Yeah, okay, sorry, we'll keep going with this, and we can always swap cameras if we need to. So the Agent Smith glasses have an estimate of 4,000 to 6,000, and the Trinity glasses have an estimate of 6,000 to 8,000. Let's pop down to the bottom there, actually. I love this car. So any followers of Prop Store for the last few years might remember that we actually owned the full-size version of this car. It's the Captain Nemo mobile, the Nautilus from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The car that we used to own was 22 foot long by 6 foot wide. This is actually a lot more manageable size, thankfully, at probably just under 3 foot or just around 3 foot long. I love the detail on this. Yeah, the guys have spent such an amount of time here putting this together. Crackle finish paint that's and even right down in the cockpit itself, in the cabin of the car, it has the full dashboard and everything else detailed and finished on there. And that has an estimate of £6,000 to £8,000. Has some electrics in there as well, so it powers up for the lights and things too. With that tech, we got it? Yeah, bit stable now? We're there? Okay, good man, excellent. Okay, so top of the cabinet here, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger's Atlantean sword from Conan the Barbarian, Crom. I love this sword. I love that film. what's distinctive about this sword by comparison to the second film from Conan, in the Conan series that some people might not be familiar with, is actually the length of the handle. So that makes it distinctively the first film. The second film's swords had a slightly longer handle. This particular piece was gifted directly to Arnold's driver, and as a thank you for his hard work, and it's kept with the family ever since, and now comes to you guys, the collectors, together with some behind the scenes stills as well that they kept as mementos. So a beautiful sword. It would have been designed by Ron Cobb, and we've lost the picture again. I'm going to keep talking while George is working this out. So it's been designed by Ron Cobb. And this particular version, even though Jody Sampson would have made the hero versions of this sword, this is made of resin fiberglass, so it's most likely that this would have been made by the special effects department, headed up by Nikki Alder. So are we back on again? We are. We're back on with Sarah. Excellent. While we try and sort out the camera. Top cabinet still here. We have from Gladiator. We have Maximus's shield. So this is actually a stunt version of Maximus's shield. Great detailing on the outside of this. Again, please download the catalogue, have a look at the bidding platform where you can get in right close and personal with this. It has all the gladiators fighting around the outside of the shield. The reverse of it is red, padded out as well, and this has an auction estimate of £8,000 to £12,000. We have a critter there from Critters 2. This is Michelle Pfeiffer's boots from Batman Returns. We do have other boots in the auction as well. We have the Julia Roberts Pretty Woman boots as well. How are we doing, Sarah? You able to pan down to the bottom of the cabinet there? Excellent stuff. Okay, so down the bottom here we have a wonderful illustration undertaken by Chris Achilleos. So this is an original piece of art. Most importantly, this will actually be copyright. And this was actually picked up by Warner Brothers for the VHS, for all of you out there old enough to remember VHS, for the VHS cover of Enter the Dragon. And it was also used for various other publicity purposes as well. At the bottom of the case, we have two really lovely props from The Mummy, the first Mummy film directed by Stephen Sommers. On the left-hand side here, we have the Book of Amun-Ra, which is the Book of the Living. And next to that, we have the Book of the Dead. So what's really interesting about these here, you're actually looking at, through the glass and probably not able to tell that well, that the left-hand book is actually a stunt rubber version. So it's made of foam. It's quite lightweight, and it would have been used for sort of all the action sequences into the film, whereas the hero book is actually fully mechanical and it has brass clasps and cast resin fiberglass pages. So if you actually turn the center motif there that has the scarab beetle clasp, you can open it up, and of course nobody should read from the Book of the Dead, but it allows you to access all the pages and the internals of that as well. So that's a wonderful prop. So before I move on any further here, I'm just going to go back to Tim and just see if there are any other questions. They can, yes, absolutely. If you want to come and visit the exhibition here in the UK, obviously we need to do that through using socially distanced measures. So we just ask that you book an appointment through auction@propstore.com, schedule it with one of the team here, and then we can give you a tour. As we said, with the pandemic this year, it's just a very, very different approach we're having to take to this, unfortunately, but we're still trying to get it out for you guys to see. Okay, I think we'll move on here. And how are we doing, George, there with that camera? We're still not back yet? Okay, no problems at all. So, Sarah, I'll just keep talking with you as we go forward here. And we'll just pan through some of these here. From Unbreakable, this is Bruce Willis's FSU, his Franklin Security uniform from Unbreakable. It has the security cap, has the lovely cloak, but also underneath this, it actually has his complete outfit as well. So we've seen some of the cloaks come to market previously, but it's incredibly rare to see them with the cap and with the rest of the costume. And this has an auction estimate of about £6,000 to £8,000. Moving on from there, we have Chappie, one of the Chappie robots from the film Chappie. Actually, when this came into us, and this is quite an interesting story, when this first came into us, it was just a box of components. The consignor had won it at one of the studio auctions that wrapped up, was after the wrap of the sale, after the wrap of the film. And we very carefully restored this and pieced this back together for him. And you can actually see, again, when you're looking online at the auction catalogue or on the PDF, where some of them this different from the original components of the droid that are seen on film. Coming across to the stage here, we have some amazing characters from Star Wars. So the two characters flanking the Stormtrooper here were actually made for promotional purposes. But the Stormtrooper at the back there is actually from The Mandalorian. So for the TV show The Mandalorian, they actually brought in the 501st Garrison to support with the filming process. So this is originally a 501st Garrison costume, which was then worn on, I think it's 2 episodes of The Mandalorian as we come to the sort of series finale of the first series. Some great pieces down the bottom here. I don't know if we can just come down to the bottom now there, Sarah. We have at the bottom here a really fun piece, Buck Russell from Uncle Buck. Really rare anything come from any of the John Candy movies. So, it's one of those very distinctive props that's got the main character's name on as well. And I think this has an estimate of £5,000 to £7,000, but a lot of fun, that piece. How close can you come in? Do you want to come in on the cryptex here in the middle? Yep. So from the Da Vinci Code, this is the signature prop really from the film. This is one of the main plot film. This is what is classed a hero prop. So this is constructed out of cast brass components. It's fully functional and practical. So for those of you who know the film well, if you pull this out to spell apple, then the end pops open and the vials inside with the note as well. And this is also the original prop box that it comes in. This is a presentation box that it was used to gift one of the senior crew members at the end of production. But this is also one of the prop components, and this has the brass metal plate on the top of it which pops off and also presents one of the clues that was seen in reverse and had to be mirrored out. So Sarah, I think, if we can come down here, rather gruesome looking severed head sitting on the stage. So this is David Warner's severed head from The Omen. This is obviously directed by Richard Donner. This is a piece that was made by Stuart Freeborn. Again, people who are familiar with Prop Store and following us for a number of years will know that we worked with Stuart and Kay Freeborn back in 2004 and 2005, disposing of their collection of time's work. And this was a piece collection at that time come back to market. A lot of the hair is gone. You can see a little bit of the remnants of the hair there on top. There's a lot of tape around the back of it where the wig used to be mounted to it. You might be able to see that it has glass eyes, enamel teeth, even has a tongue present there. And on the underside of it is a bloody stump for that seminal moment where his head gets severed by a glass pane. Lovely piece of horror movie history. Tim has actually done a more in-depth review of that on one of the pre-recorded videos that's available on propstore.com right now. And that has an auction estimate of £30,000 to £50,000. Tim, how are we getting on there, mate? Any other questions? Or?
Ian on Facebook is asking what hero version means.
Okay, well that's, yes, I was sort of trying to explain that there with the cryptics from the Da Vinci Code. So this is a hero version. So the hero version means normally that it's used for close-up or potentially or practical purposes. So in this instance, everything about this prop is hero. So it's fully functional, it's weighted, it's made of all of the component pieces and materials that you might expect it to be made of. If we maybe offered a comparison to that would be a stunt rubber version, which is just cast rubber, maybe lightweight, maybe used in action sequences and the likes. And And so therefore, you have hero, you have stunt, you also might have, in certain instances, special effects, for example, where a bloodletting sword or a retractable sword. So there are a number of different designations, and we do a lot of write-ups about those in the Prop Store blogs. So if you get a chance to check out the blogs on propstore.com, it will sort of fill you in with a bit more detail. Anything else there, Tim? That's it? Okay, great stuff. So here's a case full of Star Wars goodies. Now, this particular live stream that we're undertaking today is the first of a few that we have scheduled. We're doing one a week every Wednesday, covering Star Wars, its own dedicated live stream. So we're going to talk about these in a lot more in depth here. I think a couple of comments I'd like to make here. We've got a Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper blaster up the top there, and then we have a number of lightsabers, a whole collection of lightsabers there together. But what's wonderful as you see them here together are all the different aspects of the lightsabers. So at the top here you have a stunt training lightsaber. So it has no detail whatsoever on the handle. The whole blade is just made of bamboo, which has been shrink wrapped with a green finish for registration. Below that you have a fighting lightsaber. So this is one that would have been filmed on set. It has the aluminium shaft that has been, the aluminium blade, which has again been shrink wrapped. And so that would have been used for action sequences. They had a lot of problems actually on the first film with the blades very frequently breaking. Below that, lightsaber without the attached blade, and the same to the side here. And then we have the Darth Vader hero in the center here from Revenge of the Sith. So again, going back to that question that we had about stunt and hero, here's a variety of different styles of lightsaber that helps explain that a little bit better. Again, as I said, we're going to talk about Star Wars a little bit in more depth in later live streams. Maybe just if you can couple of pieces from the Star Wars Special Edition. So this is when George Lucas decided he wanted to come back and rework some of the scenes, and this is actually Obi-Wan Kenobi's home. So if you've ever thought about wanting to own Obi-Wan Kenobi's home, I'm sure a lot of you out there have, here's your opportunity. This is the model miniature that was used for that shot, built by, I believe it was from ILM. And right next to it is one of the moisture evaporator miniatures as well. And there are a few other miniatures that come with that. And this is a crashed Dowager spaceship, as it's known, that was also used in the special edition. An original script there from Star Wars with annotations, some other pieces there, which we will come back to, fear not, and discuss in more depth. Tim, anything else from you? Okay. Yes, okay. Everything that Prop Store offers to market comes with a certificate of authenticity. So that means we have researched the artifacts that we're offering out, and when we present them to market, they go out with the guarantee that gives the buyer the confidence. It's a lifetime money-back guarantee of authenticity. So everything that you see here comes with a certificate of authenticity. In certain instances, some pieces might come with additional studio paperwork, and if that's the case, that will also be noted in the catalogue descriptions. Okay, lovely, great. More Star Wars, I'm afraid. Let's go to Star Wars. Droids. Everybody loves droids. Look at these droids. Don't they look amazing? So up the top of the back, we have an R2 unit. This is from Star Wars Episode 1. It's actually an unfinished unit. It was originally just component pieces that has been very carefully restored and put back together again. So it's not filmed on, it's not actually been shot on, but it is original to the production, and that has an estimate of £25,000 to £30,000. To the left of this guy, we have R2S8 from Solo, A Star Wars Story. Now this particular fella, this one was seen on screen. This was seen in the spaceport, where it was actually projecting a hologram which was being watched by 2 stormtroopers. This is fully mechanical, fully remote control. As you saw, we've got a little bit of movement there, but that's just the head. You can run this thing around your living room, around your office if you'd like to as well, and that has an estimate of £40,000 to £60,000. We have another droid here. This one was originally loaned in for The Rise of Skywalker. Unfortunately, it was cut. It didn't make the final cut of the footage, but it was there on set. This R5 droid colour. Again, this actually has more functionality than the other R2 droid. Full lights, full movement, and this has an estimate of £20,000 to £30,000. Moving away from Star Wars, no, you shout. We're going to move away from Star Wars. Fight Club. We all know what the rules of Fight Club. Here they are for you. Okay, I'll say no more about Fight Club, except for the fact, here's an example of something that comes with studio paper with a 20th century fantasy. Obviously, if you're a fan of these show up when Edward Norton, the narrator, is caught photocopying them in his office. It has an estimate of £4,000 to £6,000, so it's a reasonably pricey set of rules for Fight Club, but incredibly rare, and especially with what an incredible film. Sitting next to that is a wonderful crystal ball from Labyrinth. This is one of the David, Bowie, Jared, the Goblin King's crystal balls. Great story about this particular piece is that again, those of you who have followed Prop Store previously might know some of the stories of discovery that we've been through. I mean, it's one of the best parts of what it is that I do. And for this particular artifact, we actually went to see a crew member who worked on Star Wars, and he'd laid out a whole collection of Star Wars artifacts, some ephemera, and also from Indiana Jones as well. And we talked about them for a couple of hours, and some of those items are actually in this auction as well. At the end of the conversation, he said, come on, let's go and get a cuppa and talk some more about these downstairs. So we went downstairs, went into his living room, and on the wall there was this dedicated to him. I was like, yeah. Do you think that's got some value to it? I said, yeah. And he said, look, coffee table is the crystal ball. And I said, what? And we'd spent hours talking about these Star Wars items, and there, sitting in his living room, was his crystal ball, which was given to him personally by Jim Henson. Brian Henson was there as well at the gifting. For so many years was standby props on the film. It came directly out of his standby props box, and it is very specifically constructed for you. A really amazing prop from that film. Tim, anything else from you, sir? Well, I think there's every opportunity that it could be an R2-D2, but unfortunately at this stage we can't tell. In real terms, the designation of the droids is distinctive through its colour and through its paint finish. So of course, as this was never painted, we can't be certain. We'd love to say yes, but we can't be sure, so we're calling it an R2 droid. All right? Yeah, great, lovely. We're just going to pan around now a little bit further. Sleepy Hollow. Amazing Sleepy Hollow costume worn by Christopher Walken. So this is a hero version of the costume. So I through this a couple of sided as well. So a really spectacular set there. This has an estimate of £30,000 to £15,000. It has every single component that you'd want for it, all dressed up. And in fact, incredible distressing on it as well. A lot of wax work that's been done on here to sort of age it and distress it down. Right next to that, we're back to Fight Club. So this is signature red leather jacket from Fight Club. This is really so distinctively Brad Pitt. I think it's endemic of the sort of 70s bohemian mishmash style that costume designer Michael Kaplan put together for this film. It has this broken button here at the top you might be able to see, and that's actually a feature of the jacket as you see it on film as well. So they've done a little bit of distressing of 20. We're going to slide along just alongside this now, and we're going to go to the Matrix. Yep. We got a problem, or just bear with us 1 second. Maybe you'd like to pan. Microphone again. Yeah, you hear me okay now? Lovely, excellent. Loving the technical challenges. This is the first Prop Store TV stream out of the UK, as I said, so we're learning as we go. Neo, Matrix, Reloaded and Revolutions. full costume, top to bottom. You can't see it because obviously it's covered there by his long coat. It's fully labelled internally for Keanu Reeves, including the boots actually, which have KR in them as well. Sunglasses, original to production too, and this actually comes with a certificate of authenticity from Warner Brothers Studios. So this was released by Warner Brothers Studios a number of years ago and comes with additional paperwork, and that has an estimate of £40,000 to £60,000. Cool. Okay, lovely. Shall we move on to a bit of James Bond? This is just one James Bond item that we have in our cell, one piece of wardrobe. This is Bond's, Daniel Craig's MI6 training costume. I don't know, you can zoom in a little bit on the chest area here, but you can see the MI6 logo there that's been embroidered on the chest. That's also been embroidered on the t-shirt that's underneath it. Just down below that we can see the original wardrobe tags, and I can read that for you, which says day 7, I think, I haven't got my glasses on, scene 44 to scene 49, hero. So this came from a auction. It was donated by Eon Productions, and this also comes with studio paperwork from Eon. In the auction we have a number of other James the tuxedo that we have from Skyfall. We have his Tom Ford tuxedo, an amazing piece again, which was sold at a charity auction. It's inscribed on the inside, signed by Daniel Craig, and comes with studio paperwork. But please check out the catalogue for all the other artefacts. Tim, anything else from you, sir?
Just a stunned silence.
A stunned silence. Okay, excellent stuff. We're going to move a little bit past here. One of these, I mean, look at the scale of this thing. If I just stand next to this, you can probably see the size of this from Ghostbusters. This is one of the gargoyles, full-size gargoyles from the top of Sigourney Weaver's New York apartment building, which obviously comes to life, breaks apart, and the terror dogs come through. Okay, I'm going to move over this way, just across the camera. That's okay. And you come into that? Yeah, you got that okay? Lovely, excellent. So this is the front cover piece for this year's Prop Store Entertainment Memorabilia auction. Really interesting story about this. This is obviously a mechanical alien head from Ridley Scott's phenomenal 1979 film Alien. For that particular movie, Carlo Rambaldi was approached to manufacture 3 mechanical heads for the film. And once he'd been instructed with the work, the production was a little bit concerned about his ability to be able to deliver on time. It was obviously an incredibly complex piece of work and such an important part of the film as well that it had to be right. So they approached another technician in the UK by the name of David Watling. Now, Star Wars aficionados may know that David Watling's name through his work that he did on Star Wars A New Hope. He was one of the team responsible for building the fully remote control R2-D2 unit. This particular unit was built by David. It was actually delivered into production before the Carlo Rambaldi heads. Of course, Carlo Rambaldi delivered his heads on time. But this is noted and discussed in a number of interviews from that period by both Ridley Scott and Ivor Powell, the producer. And the differences was actually that this particular head was going to be fully remote control. Carlo Rambaldi went for a sort of a cable-operated version of it. And so from one of the servos that's built inside this, we would be able to determine that this was actually one of the thought-lost David Watling head. Designed by H.R. Giger, almost certainly painted by H.R. Giger, very distinctive airbrushing, which is his style and the medium that he was using during that period. And there's actually a lot of photos of Giger painting alien heads on set as well from that era. Beautiful piece. Chrome-plated teeth, it's fully mechanized. Again, we've done a more in-depth look at this, so we'll come back to this. If you'd like to tune into propstore.com, you'll learn more about this at a later date. And this has an auction estimate of £40,000 to £60,000. Okay, so Sarah, I think we're going to slowly move over this way. We're going to go past the Alien Queen. We've got a few other pieces in the background. If you've got any questions on those, then by all means come back to me and chime in. And now we're going to come over, standing next to the dewback here, we have the, again, one of the really feature items from this year's auction, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi's hero lightsaber from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Now, this particular piece came into Prop Store's auction from Nick Gillard. Nick Gillard was the stunt coordinator on the prequel movies. And as well as being the stunt coordinator, he's also credited for a lot of the lightsaber fight work and dueling work that was really signature for the prequel films. At the end of production, Nick was gifted this particular piece by the producer, one of the producers on the film, and it comes with a letter from Nick. But I think what's so special about this particular piece, I don't know whether you want to come in a little bit closer there, Sarah, if you can, is just the design of this is obviously the same design as we see in Star Wars A New Hope. So we have Ewan McGregor using this in Revenge of the Sith, and then the style is directly comparable to the lightsaber that we originally saw Alec Guinness use in Star Wars A New Hope. This has an auction estimate of £80,000 to £120,000, so you're going to have to dig a little bit deep if this is something you'd like to bid on, but it is a real piece of Star Wars movie history right there, hero lightsaber. And again, that refers back to the sort of hero and stunt versions that we were talking about earlier on. Okay, so I think from here we're just going to maybe pan back down through the exhibition. I think we've sort of covered a fair number of pieces, but Tim, what have we got? Some other questions?
I was asking if any of the mannequins come with the costume displays.
Yes, they do actually. And I would recommend that the best bet is to actually read the auction description, check in the auction description, check the auction catalogue at propstore.com/live auction. The Neo costume that we've shown today comes complete with its mannequin costume display. The James Bond costume comes with its costume as well, with its mannequin display as well as the Martian spacesuit, which I walked past a minute ago. So yes, absolutely, there's a number of them, but please just read up in the catalogue. So if we haven't managed to answer any specific questions posted today during this live stream, then we'll circle back to these on Facebook, Insta and YouTube and post answers where we can. It's important to remember, and I've mentioned this a few times, that this is just a very small sample of the entire collection, and we have all items to suit all tastes and budgets going under the hammer, with some lots starting at just a couple of £100. Please feel free to reach out to us at auction@propstore.com if you'd like to arrange a one-to-one Zoom chat or a personal viewing with a Prop Store specialist, or if you have any specific questions you'd like answered. Look out for our next live stream taking place on Wednesday, the 4th of November, which will be hosted by Sean, where we'll be discussing some of the incredible Batman lots in our auction. We also have several pre-recorded videos going live over the next weeks, so please keep an eye out on the Prop Store's social media streams. Once again, the full catalogue is live from tomorrow, October the 29th, at propstore.com/live auction. Good luck if you decide to take part. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm sorry for some of the technical hitches that we had there, but please do check out the auction catalogue now, and we'll look forward to speaking to you again soon. This is Prop Store UK signing off.